So we received this unit and it didn't have the latest update because by the time we finished the video, the update got released pretty much during the time we were filming. This is 5.14.1.1 and some stuff has changed on the experience. This is the lead-in image, so we'll just show you what it says here. We've updated your Kindle experience. You click next. Quick access to settings. You can now swipe the top down instead of just clicking the settings wheel / gear. And if you go over here, home, library, and currently reading. So the home screen has changed and you now have a toggle between home and library. So let's try tapping the top. It does bring it down. Let's tap out. Let's try swiping the top. So either way does turn it on. Now if you watch our review video on the top video card you see right here, you will see that this looks drastically different than it was last time. The settings wheel has a circle around it, everything has a circle around it, everything has changed. They've also gotten rid of those little blocks. Now some people have said when they turn on their warm light that they get crashing. And we confirmed that last firmware there was no crashing whatsoever. So we're going to turn the glow light on and we're going to turn the warm light off and on a little bit. So it does change live. And we aren't seeing any crashing yet. So if it does crash, well, that's just, we'll cross that road when we come to it, but we don't see any crashing in the here and now. Although, you know what? The bar isn't that responsive right out of the gates. It does actually have a little bit, you see, I've touched into that and it's not doing anything. And see what's happening there? So it's actually registering that it is touched, but then it doesn't find where my finger is until I wait and I relax and then I get back into it like this. So there is some stuff they need to work out still, but that's neither here nor there. This is what the update shows us in today's reality. This is the new home screen. You have your library, reading list, more like Naruto because we were just reading Naruto. And again, it looks like they're not really showing you a lot of the store and services, but they kind of are because they have this slider bar. So in fact, most of the home screen is going to be things that they're trying to sell you. So related reads, buy now, new releases, recommended reads, all that kind of stuff. All this leads towards the store, and you can access the store right now from one of the 2 selections on the top bar. Before there were a bunch of selections, now there's only 2. You can go to the store, or you can click this and you get this drop down. Also, the font has changed here. The margins have decreased and the font is kind of thinner and more crisp, we feel. So that's really nice. Let's go ahead and turn this warm light off. See, there is still some touch issues right there. So they do have to work on that. It definitely, the blocks were way easier to touch. The touch box was easier to find with your finger. This one just seems difficult to find. We'll go into the book because there is another feature in the double A button. So you click here, you go to the double A button. Oh, and here it's going to lead us in with this. Tap the icon, exit your book, icons display, etc., etc. You can pause the video if you want to read those. Go in the double A option, it might show up some more stuff. No, it did not. If you go to more, you get a new animated page turn apparently. Here it is, page turn animations. This was not here before. You can click on that and let's see what it looks like. I've never seen this yet either, so let's see. Oh, that was very interesting. Wow. Okay, it's a wipe, but it's not a page curl. For example, I can't control where that curl is. Watch. If I tap on it and I start to turn, about 1 inch of movement already triggers the page animation and it just does its thing. It's not for something for me to peek. There is no peek option. If I tap, it's the same thing as well. So it's swiping over the page. It's basically a wipe. It's a horizontal wipe with a vertical line. So if you see right here, I tap on the side, it's wiping. And again, if I try to peek it, it won't do it. And now there's no point to have my finger there because the animation is finished and the trigger is done. So even if I swipe from the middle, I'm assuming, like that, you see, it only takes that 1 inch of movement for it to say, okay, you've turned a page, trigger animation, end animation, and there's nothing more you can do. So you just take your finger off the screen and continue reading. They've also made it easier to navigate in the book. So if you open up the top bar, the bottom bar will show up as well, and you can actually click on grid mode, and this will show you little thumbnails on a 3x3 grid of everything that the pages have to offer. You can even quick nav like that, or go back to a page with a pop-out page. So you can go like this, what the next page is going to be, and in and of itself, this kind of is a peek, because you can peek on the next page and say, oh, I see what it is, and then you can tap into it, or you can X out. Finally, at the bottom, you have Home Library Toggle, as we mentioned before, but if you open a book, in the middle, you'll see the most recent thing we've been reading has popped up there as a direct thumbnail. So you can click on that, and it'll go back to the book you were at, or the PDF, of course. And if you go back to the home, you can toggle between your home or your library. And library is still accessible from the Your Library here. I have personally noticed, after being in the industry for 13 years, that all the touches seem to be actually a little bit less responsive than the previous update. We've been having trouble with clicking the thumbnail, toggling between these two, and even turning off and on the glow light. So far, we have seen a little bit less of a recognition when it comes to our touches than we did before we updated. So I hope that gets fixed. I hope that all gets sorted out, and they just keep adding more things and updating the devices as they come out, because the signature edition is going to come out. Maybe they'll have an update to maybe accommodate that a little bit better. For now, this is the latest update. You can manually download it from their site, or you can just wait till it gets pushed to the device itself. For GoodyReader.com, this is Peter.